Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Jen. And Jen sent in an audio file, which are always nice. So let's get right to it. Here we go.
Hi, Ollie. Happy to see that you're back and that you made it through the hurricane. I'm sure a lot of your followers, including me, were all glued to our phones and computers watching as you posted. So thanks for keeping us in the loop there. Okay, well, I would like to tell the story of how my mom made me her partner in crime when I was growing up. It happened frequently, and when I was a little girl, I felt that maybe she sought loyalty out of me, and by me keeping her secrets, we had a special bond, or...
There should never be secrets. No adult should be entrusting a child to keep their quote-unquote secrets. This is just a shitty thing to do. But that's what happens.
By me participating in some of her secrets that she held from the family, that we had something special going. But now I look back and I think to myself, fuck, that's fucked up. She is fucked up in the things that she did. Okay, so the first thing is every Christmas, as gifts were coming in from our relatives and friends and collecting under the tree, out of curiosity, we kind of poke at them, examine them, shake them around a little bit if nobody was looking, try to figure out what was in the gift. And that's the fun of it, the surprise, the excitement of Christmas morning and opening gifts and actually getting something that you thought was totally opposite of what was in the box. Okay, so what my mom would do is a few days before Christmas, after pretty much all the gifts had come in, she would wait until my family was asleep, and she'd wake me up in the middle of the night, excitedly, Jen, wake up, come on. We'd tiptoe through the house, and she would bring out a razor blade. At that point, she would start very carefully with the hand of a surgeon, a hand of a plastic surgeon, delicately slice through the tape right at the seam line of the wrapping paper on the presents. And one by one, my mom would unwrap each and every present so that she knew what everybody was getting before they opened their gifts. It was my job then to very carefully tape up the packages. Oh, careful, without leaving a trace. And nobody ever knew. Nobody ever knew. This is the first time I'm going public with this story, too.
This is like that internal satisfaction that the narcissist gets. When you see them sitting there with that look of satisfaction on their face, those smug looks, it's things like this that they're capable of, that they've done, where they're getting. You don't even realize what's going on. Something's up, but not sure what. And what Jen's really given everybody an insight into is she's right, being the narc's partner in crime. She's turning state's evidence. She's telling how the manipulation worked. So let's see. And I bet it was just a lot of smug satisfaction, and who knows, just knowing, just that godlike, being able to make themselves into that godlike, omniscient, all-knowing being of the family. It's shit like this how they do it.
So on Christmas morning, I knew everything I was getting. I knew everything my family was getting, my brothers and sisters and my parents. And as we'd be opening gifts, I'd look at my mom and she'd give me a smirky smile. And I would, I'm sure, return the smile and kind of feel like I had something in with my mom. Like we had this special ritual that we would do, and oh, it's great how we're opening up all the Christmas gifts ahead of time so we know. Okay, I never had a good Christmas morning. I always knew exactly what I was getting. It totally stole the innocent surprise, the wonderment of Christmas morning away from me. And she's probably still doing it, as far as I know. I don't care. I wouldn't want to know. Okay, another.
That wasn't her intent with you, though. She was trying to give you the gift of narcissism. For some reason, she was trying to let you in on her little cabal. To her, that was, I think, in her fucked up mind, she had given you the greatest gift she could give you. She was letting you in. She was letting you into the business. To the business of narcissism with a wink and a smile and that satisfaction. That was supposed to be your gift. But because you're not a narcissist, you realized your Christmases were ruined by knowing.
Another partner in crime. She was an extreme naturalist. Oh, so she said. Homeopathy, when it was just first coming out in the 70s and 80s, an herbalist, nutritionalist, vegetarian, strict vegetarian. She was part of food co-ops and whole grains and everything. Okay. Once in a while, she'd look at me and she'd say, Jen, go get in the car. Okay, get in the car. Where are we going? She'd drive freaking spinning out the tires in the driveway practically to the nearest Kentucky Fried Chicken. Order a big bucket of the extra crispy fried chicken, and she'd sit in the parking lot and eat it like an animal. Just like her, practically growling, grease all over her face, all over her hands. I'm handing her napkins. I'm eating chicken because I was usually fucking starving, by the way.
I'm starving after this story. I want a bucket of extra crispy. It actually just sounds delicious. But point taken, we know the narcissist is full of shit. But again, she's letting you in. She's giving you the gift of narcissism. She's letting you in. She's letting you into the scam. She's letting you in. That was supposed to be your gift, Jen. Don't you understand? No, because you're not a narcissist.
She was so strict with food and who got to eat what when and the cost of food, and that's a whole other story. But I would eat the chicken too. I was hungry. I was out with my mom. I felt like we were participating in a bonding activity, something to be, and it was, now I look back on it, I had to hide these. My mom's friends would come to her with nutritional advice, and she set up the first vitamin and herb department in a really big chain of natural food stores. Anyways, she'd look at me and I'd get that smirk, that don't you even open your mouth smirk, as she'd tell her friends, oh, the evils of chicken farming and how bad meat is for you and blah, 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 blah. So there are a few other little things like this, and I think, like, what the fuck? What a fucking troll. She was just a Durgar. She was a troll. So throughout my childhood, there were a few times, usually 3 times I can count, that relatives pulled me aside and said, hey, Jen, There's nothing wrong with you, okay? It's your mom. Those were gifts given to me. Now I'm 44 years old. I still think about those conversations that I had. Those were the most valuable gifts that I got, period. Acknowledgement.
Validation. Yeah, acknowledgement, validation. I mean, that's why people are on my channel. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's knowing you're not crazy, hearing your story told through other people, and being validated and being able to put terms to it. And, you know, that's what it's all about.
Appreciation. You know, letting me know that I wasn't a bad little girl, that it was my mom. So my Aunt Crystal had one of these talks with me. She took me to the beach. I was about 12, maybe 13 years old, and we were visiting California, and she made this special day with me, and she had a conversation with me, and she said, look, you know, your mom's really difficult. She's done a lot of damage in the family. It's not you, okay? Don't take any of this personally. And that made me feel like $1,000,000. That made me feel like a real person. So a few months pass, and something came up at home. I was having tension with my mom. My mom was screaming at me, doing something. And I'm sure, you know, I was 12, 13. I'm sure I had early teenage hormones flying, but I lost control. And I just let it come out. And I said, you know, Aunt Crystal told me that there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me, and the way that you treat me is wrong. She lost it. She lost it. I still remember we were sitting in the kitchen. She starts throwing stuff, gets on the phone, pushes me out of the way, gets on the phone to my Aunt Crystal, her brother's wife, and she demands, did you tell Jennifer this? Did you tell her this? My Aunt Crystal says, yes, I did. But we were having, you know, that conversation was between us, and I'm sure my Aunt Crystal was put on the spot, and she said, you know, that was between us, and I'm sorry that she brought you into it. Okay, so from this point on, my mom had me tagged as the bad confidant. Oh, you're an awful confidant. Can't tell you anything, can you? Can't share any secrets with you.
Yeah, she knew you'd talk. She knew you'd turn state's evidence eventually. You're a squealer. Do you see? It's like a criminal mentality. Think about that. It's like a criminal enterprise going on in her mind. And like I said at the beginning of this is the narcissist sidekick turning state's evidence. And that's exactly what she basically accused you of. I can't tell you. You're going to snitch. Snitches get stitches. Rats get bats.
You can't tell you anything. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. So there's just a couple of stories. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that experienced anything like this, but okay, thank you, Ollie, and good to see you back, and excited to hear your expert opinion. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. And that's the end of the recording. Well, Jen, like I said, you turn state's evidence. And in your mother's mind, she treated herself like a criminal enterprise. Think about that. Everything she did was on the down low, sneaking around, tiptoeing, winking, doing one thing, saying one thing, doing another. And then when it comes back, oh, I can't trust you. You talk. You're a snitch. In your mom's sick, twisted mind, she's her own criminal enterprise. And you're just the sidekick that turns state's evidence. So, Thank you so much for your contribution, and thank you for the recording. I really appreciate it, and the story was great. Hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, sponsor a video just like this for someone who needs help or can't afford it, have a Facebook live chat, or just sponsor the channel in general, help keep the lights on, the bills paid, keep the channel growing, or even just buy a bucket of extra crispy, because now I am absolutely starving, because that would be awesome as well. You know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. And remember, this channel is still sponsored 100% from contributions from all of you. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.